Welcome return to Movie Recaps. Today I will display you a crime mystery movie from 2005, titled Revolver. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. After 7 years of confinement, Cockney gambler Jake Green is ultimately free of prison. 2 years after his release, he and his brother Billy moved to one of the maximum crucial casinos within the area with the purpose of having returned the cash they are owed through the owner, crime boss Dorothy Matcha. Ignoring his bodyguard Paul's advice, he allows Jake to enroll in his non-public game. On the manor up, Jake hesitates to take the elevator due to his claustrophobia. However, the different bodyguards remind him they need to climb 20 floors, so he gives in and takes the elevator at the same time as preventing a panic attack. Jake's first wager is on a chip toss against any other participant on the table, which he loses. But that is on purpose. He is manipulating Matcha right into a feel of fake security. So whilst he makes the identical wager with him, he wins this time. Billy and Jake hurry to go away the online casino with their bags complete of cash, and on their manor route, they are stopped through Zach, who tells them they are in hazard and he can assist them earlier than giving Jake his card. This time, Jake makes a decision to take the stairs. However, earlier than he may even move down one step, he passes out and falls down as the cardboard is found out to say take the elevator. While Jake is rushed to the hospital, Matcha expresses his issues to Paul. Jake need larger revenge after 7 years in gaol, particularly after the incident with his sister-in-law, so Matcha orders Paul to lease the pleasant hitman with inside the commercial enterprise to cast off him. At the hospital, Jake is instructed no reason for the blackout will be located at a primary glance, so he ought to move domestic and relaxation at the look at results. Billy is going to his personal house at the same time as Jake takes the bodyguards for protection. However, they all are shot as quickly as they arrive. The best purpose why he manages to sidestep is that he unearths a card as the ground that says pick this up, so he bends over to do precisely so. He attempts to break out in his car, however the motive force is shot too. Fortuitously for him, Zach arrives simply in time to keep him and take him away. The hitman, Sorter, can't recognize how he overlooked, considering the fact that he by no means misses, and theorizes a person need to have tipped Jake off. What he tells Matcha while he scolds him, however, is that he overlooked due to the fact he had a bad feeling. Meanwhile, Zach takes Jake to satisfy his partner, Avi, who has come but may placed his arms on Jake's scientific file. The check outcomes are in. Jake has an extraordinary blood ailment so as to cause his loss of life inside 3 days. The guys provide Jake their safety in exchange for 2 conditions, which aren't negotiable. He need to deliver them all their cash, and do whatever they ask for, which includes answering any questions. They deliver him 3 hours to decide. However, Jask leaves without announcing a phase due to the fact he is satisfied they are looking to trick him. The outcomes he receives at the clinic are the equal ones. However, Jask here as soon as again thinks the lab need to have been paid through Zach and Avi, so he receives a second opinion from his private doctor, who additionally offers him the equal prognosis. After threatening him together along with his gun to make sure he is not additionally being paid, Jake admits he has no desire and, after taking cash from the bank, is going return to just accept the guys' deal. As they go out for a ride, Avi explains they are mortgage sharks, and it will be Jake's cash that they will be loaning. After journeying their first patron to drop the cash, Avi needs Jake to inform him all about his records with Matcha. Matcha used to have 3 very silly guys operating for him known as the 3 Addies. They misplaced their card guide earlier than a huge recreation and knew Jake become an excellent player, in order that they known as him to update him. Jake wanted to refuse. However, they threatened Billy's family, so he needed to be given to guard them. During the recreation, however, the opposite guys at the desk began insulting Jake and his mother. Jake wouldn't be given that, so he began out a gunfight. The electricity went off, the cash disappeared, and the subsequent element he knew, a person dropped his name and Jake become being wandered through the police. To maintain him from talking, They threatened his niece and then killed his sister-in-law while she attempted to guard her daughter. Jake didn't inform the law enforcement officials that Matcha organized the video games and became dispatched to prison for 7 years. In the course of that time, the Eddies disappointed Matcha in some manner, which led to him the usage of them as concrete. After journeying a group of clients, Zach sends Jake to live at a motel. Meanwhile, Matcha and Paul go to crime kingpin Sam Gold, considered the last figure all different crime bosses need to be like. However, Gold in no way receives visitors, so as a substitute they meet together along with his advisor, Lily Walker, who accepts to broking a powder deal with Matcha. She additionally reminds him that Gold doesn't like exposure or provide 2D chances. Sometime later, Jake offers Zach and Avi extra cash before he is requested approximately his time in prison even as gambling chess with Avi. Jake were given 14 years of everyday time or 7 years of solitary, so he selected solitary. His cell became among guises, a chess grasp and a conman, that were there for an extended time, and even as they in no way talked to every different, they knew the whole thing approximately every different. During the first 5 years of Jake's sentence, the three of them might talk with the aid of using sending messages written on the library books, and that become how Jake learned their method to win any sport with inside the world. The guys have been making plans a jailbreak and promised to take Jake with them. However, once they ultimately left, they disappeared without a phrase and left Jake in the back of. When he became launched years later, he found out the ones guys had taken all his cash and most effective left in the back of a notice that stated you could most effective get smarter with the aid of using gambling a better opponent. So Jake began out the usage of the method to numerous casinos. As the times pass, Jake keeps running with the aid of using journeying numerous clients and freely giving his very own cash. He's additionally supposed to threaten them in the event that they do not pay. However, he can't carry himself to harm innocent, determined people. Meanwhile, Avi and Zach are chaining the facet of a wall to a truck, so once they pull, they break stated wall and Scouse borrow the secure on the alternative facet. This secure has the powder Matcha had promised Lily, so while he reveals out he's been robbed, he sends Paul to clear up this irrespective of what it takes. Paul is going to peer their rival, triad kingpin Laura John, who accepts to offer them with the powder on such brief note, however best for an overinflated price. Jake, Zach, Avi, and their crew visit the inn in which the alternate will happen. They sneak right into a room subsequent to the thugs to make a hollow in the wall and inject those gas, setting both Matches and John's guys to sleep. Then they steal the cash and the powder, framing it to make it appearance it become Matcha that robbed John and vice versa. Sometime later, Jake receives a name from Billy, who tells him he has been asking round and has found out that Zach and Avi are so dangerous that now no longer even Gold could contact them, so Jake have to get out of there. Jake doesn't pay attention and is going again to work, in which he is being anticipated to shoot a scared client. He refuses and attempts to shoot Avi instead. However, he realizes the gun is empty proper earlier than Avi knocks him out. Jake wakes up hours later with inside the hotel and receives a name from Avi pronouncing he has survived his third day, so he have to get a checkup. After being visited with the aid of using his niece and Billy, who leaves him a gun simply in case, Jake is going to peer his doctor, who confirms the analyses have been incorrect and Jake is fine. He attempts to name Avi and demand answers. However, Avi best says he will need to wait. Meanwhile, Paul has been accumulating information, and Jake's call has arise as concern in all the issues his guys were going through, so Matcha orders him to kill him. When Jake returns to the hotel, Avi and Zach are expecting him and warn him that Matcha's thugs are already inside the room. Jake runs away and the guys cross after him, however he manages to lose them, especially while one of the thugs slips and shoots himself with the aid of using accident. The different criminals discover the frame and assume Jake did it. Jake is going to peer Avi and Zach at their office, in which they confess they have usually known Jake failed to inform them the complete reality, approximately his vintage address. The Eddies, those three clowns, had been expecting Jake while he were given out of prison to kill him, due to the fact what he did brought about them to get fired with the aid of using Matcha. To keep his life, he supplied the Eddies a deal. Each month, he could supply them 3% of any cash they could lend them. The first time, Simplest one. Eddie agreed to it, but after they saw he stored his deal, all of them desired to be in, this time for a 4%. In truth, Jake began paying every Eddie with any other Eddie's cash, so he wasn't dropping anything. It got here to a degree where they did not have any extra money to lend, so they borrowed from Matcha, who quick have become interested with inside the Eddie's mysterious cash maker man. After playing with the formulation and making himself rich, Jake selected that second to take a vacation together along with his brother and niece, and that became whilst Matcha killed the Eddies for now no longer paying him back. Speaking of Matcha, he is having dinner at a fancy eating place whilst he is visited via way of means of his henchman. The truth, implying they be not anything however simply figments of Jake's imagination. Unfortunately, he does not have time to come to phrases with this due to the fact at that moment, the online casino's bodyguards come to take him to Pier Matcha, who has the lady with him. After losing the baggage of powder at the floor, Jake tells his niece the whole lot might be fine, which drives Matcha mad due to the fact Jake is still displaying no worry even if he's pointing his gun on the child. Humiliation reasons the ego voices in Matcha's thoughts to attain the end that Jake cannot harm a useless man, so he places the gun in opposition to his head and shoots.